The Romans have not ceased their meddling. More disturbingly, they have studied one of your wrecked warships and are using it as a model to build an entire fleet. These ships will allow them to protect their supply lines from Italy, keeping their armies in Sicily equipped and reinforced. The first of these new vessels are nearing your positions off the coast of Mylae. To demonstrate the futility of challenging Carthage at sea, capture the Roman supply carts and bring them back to your base. May Baal Haman guide you.
Very well. Greetings, everybody. We don't have the cam yet. There we go. We are back with the first Punic War campaign. We're in the second mission, the Battle of Mylae. That's how the narrator said it, so. We got two objectives. Bring two war chests containing Roman supplies to the blue flagged area on your island. Or alternatively, kill your opponent, so just destroy everything. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Okay, the first things first, I want to get one on fish, one all in wood, and we're going to saturate our docks with fishing ships. We're going to start constantly pumping fishing ships. These slingers here, we will not be needing them, so we will get rid of them. In the meantime, we will be hunting a lot of wood. We're going to send all our villagers to cut to wood until I get to like 15, I believe. We also want to get going to keep producing villagers the most we can. For that, we're gonna be making fishing boats. The fishing boats are being collecting the food, and the wood that we use for these fishing boats is gonna be coming from this part. So you can see we kind of have our economy already well distributed. So just keep pumping. This part you can even micro them to give every villager their own tree. That will help a lot in the pathing. And just try to pump as many fishing boats as you can. You might have some idle time in the docks, but that is acceptable. What is not acceptable is that you have idle time in the town center. We're gonna keep making villagers until we're probably pop cap, which is pretty important that we exploit the time as most that we can. You can see the villagers are cutting off pretty quickly already the wood. We're gonna try to get this wood off pretty early on so that we can move to the back and just focus on the water. As you can see, this is gonna be a very water oriented map. So what we're gonna do is kind of just boom into iron. But we're gonna be getting some early fishing war galleys because this map is kind of RNG-ish in the sense that the enemies sometimes attack you pretty early on and pretty aggressively, and sometimes they don't attack you at all. And so you wanna... Let's see how the computer will behave on this one. Usually I'm able to defend myself pretty well against it, but once it gets out of hand, there's no really point because they just get surrounded. There is also a point where you can get overwhelmed by the amount of ships on both sides, because usually the player that goes... The dangerous player, believe it or not, is yellow in this part. He usually just comes with scout ships, but he's the one that first goes to iron, so it's pretty dangerous for him to let him just live. Once he gets to iron, if you are not in iron, you are pretty much dead, and it's better to restart the campaign. You can see we have no longer trouble filling the buildings in here. Once we get 16 on wood in here, we're gonna be able to move to other stuff. You can see we already have one villager building houses. We're gonna keep building houses until we pop cap. We will also be making a lot a stable and only that, because that's the only thing we need. Let's just keep making fishing ships. And here we got two more buildings. We already have 16 on the wood department, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep making villagers, but we're gonna distribute them to other places. I like placing my stable here, and the other villagers will be coming to food. So start getting all these shore fishes. And the rest of the wood, use it to start pumping scout ships, because we are going to be needing them pretty soon. In the meantime, you can see we are kind of saturated in all sense. This forest is almost done. These fishing ships are taking all the food that we got. On this side, once we got all sorted out, we're gonna start making some walls because we want to close as much as we can. Due to red doing the early landings, it usually gets pretty dangerous if you're caught off guard. So you don't wanna like we get a surprise landing on this part. It is possible to get landed in this part, but once you get landed, they usually prefer to not be landed. You will need some early units in that for that. That's why we're making scout ships. You can see right now it's gonna be a kind of a passive game. However, everything seems to be going good. We're gonna store some wood because we need a storage pit on the back. You can see we're running low on this forest already, so we're gonna move them pretty early, pretty soon. Once this forest is finished, we are happily moving back. You can also see start getting some walls on the other places. This forest has been finished, so let's move everything to the back. And I mean everything, because we don't want any trouble. I think we're getting trouble, by the way. You can see we're not that prepared just yet. So we're gonna be moving all of this, running, so that we can get some time. We'll be walling this part. Wall this part except one tile. Kind of a weird move, you may think, but the enemy gets pretty aggressive with the ships. And you don't wanna get as much time because the number of ships gets pretty big pretty early on. And as usually computers like to focus on the fishing ships, these economy units. So we're gonna abuse that so that we can try to get as much time as possible. We already have 4 war galleys. Shouldn't be a problem just yet. You can see we are kinda in a good spot if you ask me. These fishing boats unfortunately are not in a good spot. You can see they're getting us plenty of time, and now that we have fully migrated all our units, we can kind of work it out. We gave them the fishing ship upgrade so that we can move them faster and they can outrun the ships. Right now what we need is time more than anything. Let's keep queuing villagers. We have not been landed just yet, so we're in a good spot. These guys are still being chased, you can see. Tedious position that we're constantly being chased around. Surprisingly, the transport is here. Like, for some reason, it's trying to pick exactly these units. That's a weird behavior that I actually have not seen. But we intercepted it, so already a good offense from our part. Oh, never mind. Okay. We're gonna be needing more units then. Or more ships. What I'm gonna do right now is be moving all this to the back. They're still chasing in. Oh, I should have. Let's try to repair this. I didn't pay attention then. We have a decent number now, so we should be able to fight this. Except that these guys are still attacking the fishing boats. There's a lot of units here, a lot of ships, as you can see. No chill from the computer. Move a bit to the back because we are still getting attacked from all sides. Okay. Yellow still chasing on my ships. This guy's not letting up. Yeah, so we lost everything. Believe it or not, we are not dead yet. We still have some hope. We got some ships. Look at that, we got a lot of space now because I don't see more red ships. And we cleared this up with 2 hoplites, so all in all, not completely wiped out. A good thing. There's still more ships, so let's kinda hope we can get more. Let's sort of get a government center. Little by little, we're getting 2 more. We're getting back into shape. Got 5 war galleys now. Imagine if we hadn't made the war galley earlier on. We would have been in deep trouble. Now that we have enough ships, we can finally fight the scout ships that have been chasing us from yellow. Let's kill those first. Let's keep moving so that they can micro it. We micro this. We keep focusing on the enemy ships. You can see, oh, another landing. That's not cool. That's not cool, actually. But we've been cleared out. We've cleared out everything. Now to our advantage, there is what do you call? Berries here, a set of berries. So we're gonna use those to try to collect more for our economy, more food. As you can see, we have pretty low numbers of food. Another transport ship. Let's hold that one. Gonna ungroup this one and let's start to get some repairs for this guy as well. So you can see at this little by little catching back up, getting back up, and getting ready for the fight. After this part, I dare to say that this is like this gets much easier. Like once you survive this initial attack, the enemy doesn't really do anything else. As you can see, like you can just get that part and don't let them accumulate anymore, and you should be good. Which remind me, I don't have the wood upgrade, so now we got it. This guy in here. Let's put this guy in here. Let's not get more transport. So now that we get this good number, we can pick it out quite easily. There we go. We got 2 more. We're gonna open this part. Oh, we're gonna move more villagers here. Let's start moving, creating more farms as well. We can keep going and attack. Right, you can see there's this little base here that can be quite annoying, so make sure you destroy their dock first. And after that you should be good. Forgot to destroy the other tiles, so not a problem. Okay, see? Can get troublesome if you let it go off guard. We're gonna make 1, 2 more. So now the plan is that we're gonna boom a little and we're gonna try to get to Iron Age. That's the next step for us. Once we do, as you can see, we have deleted the dock in this side. We can fully go on this side now. There's nothing else that's gonna attack us from this part. So let's do that. We still have 1 uplight. Let's delete it. We're not gonna be needing uplights in this mission, believe it or not. Okay, let's go. Another town center here. The third one. I noticed that I don't have PopCap, so let's go get the building for it. And at this point, from this point onwards, all the ships are going to be coming from this part, so not really a problem once you have the big numbers. You might want to move a ship to the back once in a while so that you can repair it. That's something I really suggest you do. It helps out a lot, especially with limited numbers like the 50 pop that you have in campaigns. So repairs can be very useful. Now, let's keep on getting more wood. Oops, whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, destroyed. We're getting there. We're getting the numbers going. The good thing is that, for example, in this part, yellow has not turned to Iron Age. That's always good. So he usually gets pretty aggressive after that. But he doesn't seem to be doing it in these missions right now, so... we seem we have pretty much completed this mission. We are not just, like, playing the waiting game, getting more and more units. What is required so that we can invade the enemy. We're gonna focus on getting the artifacts. We're not gonna try to clean everything like the game suggested to. I'm just gonna try to go the objective way. We'll be getting a temple because we need a temple. Later on in the Iron Age, we are gonna be making Tree. That's gonna help us out a lot. And for that, we need a temple. We like to make more docks because even if we don't make that a lot of water, it's usually better that we keep the numbers of docks up so that the production catches on quicker. So that's why I suggest become docks. I like making 5. And you can see we're trying to pick on my poor villagers, and a lot of ships actually coming in. But it actually favors me because now we can get more ships going. We were pop kept due to the pop villagers. Now that they're being killed, we can kind of make more warships. Okay. Let's pull this guy back. Let's repair it. Give them the wood upgrade. I have not given them that. That's why we have kind of low on the wood. Let's go back to this spot, which is like our camping spot. We can wipe this out. It's just a house and a barracks and a storage pit, so not really much of an issue. We're gonna delete a few villagers, unfortunately. Just get in the way of this transport ship so that he doesn't get in by freely. And now we take down this boy. There we go. I also want to make a transport ship, actually. We'll be needing it pretty soon. Now, let's start getting some gold stone as well. We will be needing it. We want to get ballistics. We want to get alchemy. We want to get... what else? The wood upgrade. That's the first one, which is very important for our units. And for our dock, we want to get the trireme upgrade. You can see we will be getting a lot of upgrades, and we're not going to attack until we get them all. Or, well, we can attack. We just need a few more. Let's delete this 5 boys. Ooh, I said I was going to make 5 dogs, and I did not make them. We're making fire galleys because they take out the buildings quite nicely, actually. We want to get rid of those dogs already so that we stop getting attacked from the water like this. Let's work on that. Oh, this boy. Another boy. So let's get them all going. And once we get the trireme upgrade, we will move in again. Okay? Yeah. Let's go. Full upgrades. And you can see the damage going pretty wild thanks to the war galley, the fire galley. It does a lot of damage to all enemy units. The buildings. It's so cool. We use the triremes to clean up all the annoying units that are attacking our poor fire galleys. So the war galleys can focus on the buildings. And the fire galleys actually have extra fire damage, so you can see you have plus 12. So it's additional 6 to the usual 6 points that they get. Pretty useful. A lot of bowmen from the side of blue. Red. Get all the build units you can. Let's get Silatry. Let's get a transport upgrade. And we can transport pretty soon. Heal the priest so you don't have to get any units converted. Focus fire with the fire galleys. Start getting towers upgrades because we're going to be placing some towers, believe it or not. That's one dog down. Let's get deleting the other ones. There we go. Look at him go. He just died too quickly, friends. Get more gold in here. Get our gold upgrades just for the sake of eco. I'm getting more tower upgrades. Okay, so we got 10 boys here. We got the transport here. Let's get going. So what we're gonna do is a little AI cheating, you could say. We're gonna send some villagers with Silatry so that they can be extra tanky. We're gonna be sending some units in here. And we're gonna make a tower. And you'll see what happens in a moment. If you've never tried it, this helps a lot in the campaign, so I suggest you do when you try to deal with computers. We're gonna build a tower right here in the face of the enemy. Look at what happens. All the villagers in this part of the game of the enemy is gonna be coming here and try to take it down. And that's like a behavior that they got for some reason. And you can see it gives us time to get the artifact and move all the way back. Right now, ooh, yellow actually getting some water presence. And you can see the Silatry helped us out to get these units move quicker and resist all the attacks. Just not to get this artifact. Yeah. We're gonna get the artifact in the transport ship. In the meantime, we're gonna be moving all these ships. Actually, yellow is on the Iron Age. Look like they're getting aggressive right now. So if we don't deal with this now, we might have some trouble. I don't think we will, but because it's a bit too late. We're gonna delete this guy because the ships only carries 10 and the artifact just can't count as a unit as well. So we have to do some space. Next, we have to move to the other dock. Let's get it quickly. Let's get all our units coming in as well. We get it. Let's get our villagers in here too. just in case we're gonna be queuing more ships because this might get troublesome. And same plan, another tower coming right up. Trireme's already here, but we already in his base, so we shouldn't have a problem. And these guys are kind of more powerful by the looks of it. We're gonna be building a few more towers just in case. You can see, Poland is coming in well. So green, yellow really going forward in this one. Become very aggressive for surprisingly. The artifact, let's get it back in. You don't want that artifact to be lost by you. Let's attack all the buildings that we can. Make some space. Keep making towers. Kill everything you see. Attack the units. The units melt right away, as you can see. Pretty useful. Just like that. Now let's try to get this guard tower on this side. Guard tower, I said. We already have the artifacts, so let's move the artifact. Oh boy, no. Okay, don't get in the way. Just like that, we have kind of completed the mission, really. You can see the yellow cannot really do anything anymore. We already have the artifact. We're the second one. No, there it is. We have not captured yet. Capture it. There we go. We have kind of captured both artifacts, and right now what we'll do is just finish the mission. We don't really care about this anymore. We're just gonna be taking this and move the transport. We don't even move the villagers. Just like that, this is mission completed, pretty much. You can see this mission's kind of lucky. Sometimes the enemy gets too aggressive. They actually got pretty aggressive in this scenario, if you ask me. Like they were chasing me all around. But I had some ships and I was able to get them with the war galley. Like a bit of a rough start, but we were able to do it in the end. And if that happens, like, it can be hard for some player to come back, so there's no shame you have to retry again. Maybe having less fishing boats can help you out so that you can get the water quickly on the offensive. So try different routes in the numbers so that you can see which one fits you the most. Just like that, we are finished with the war chests. So right now,
your victory has reminded the Romans that Carthage rules the waves. Despite their defeat, however, the Romans remain undaunted and have continued to work on building their fleet. With the speed with which they have already replaced their losses, you worry that even Carthaginian shores will soon be threatened.
Alright, so we still got one mission to do yet. Don't be sure to check that one out when it comes out. For now, the comments, let's see. Like I said, the numbers may vary on you. Make sure that something fits you better. This mission gets very aggressive early on. Like, yellow is not the main threat at the start. Red is the main threat with the war galleys, so maybe you want to get some early offensive, but what's important is that you really want to get to bronze as early as possible. And it's a really good idea to exploit the fishing you have here. It's worth noting that the ship, the fish, it's only close to your base. There's not really much fish outside. Like, there is fish, but it's pretty spread out, as you can see. So for that, I don't think it's worth like chasing out that hard. That's why I didn't replace the fishing boats once I lost them. And I switched to farms. So I say, once you lose your fishing boats, don't sweat it and start replacing them with villagers in here. You should already be in the bronze age, so you can just get a government center and put some town centers and start pumping units. You have some berries here, you have some gazelles here. Not much food, truth be told. Very few gazelles. But it helps to do the work, really. Especially if you do like I did, that we move to the back once we already finished this forest. So I would say that's the best way to go, in my opinion. In the case that you want to go like destroying everything, I think in that scenario, believe it or not, Zealotry can still be an option if you want to really go and store everything. Like you go Zealotry, put on some units in here. I mean, clean up this area with the triremes like we did in here. Then start cleaning everything, like just get as much space. And then when you get the villagers, start getting some centurions, which is the option that we go as Carthaginian. I think that's the best one suited here. Even with the priest, you want to get the priest with the villagers. It's very easy once they have Zealotry. My point is that it's very suitable to kill them if you want to. There are some resources in here. I've used them very few times when I want to kill them, when I go with some weird strats, but usually they're pretty useful. The gold here and the stone here are pretty useful once these ones run out, because truth be told, your land is kind of lacking in those resources. You have this gold, this stone, then this gold, and then stone and this gold. You have some more gold here, but I have actually never used them because I actually feel lazy to just land there. Like, I don't want to send 10 villagers here. I prefer to go here and get more value out of my villagers. And same here. Once you get this part wiped out, just make sure that you don't get yellow, get the water, because once he gets into the water, he gets pretty aggressive. As you can see, he was already getting triremes, and they could have been a threat if I had been like standing here, like I was in the middle of the game. So just keep that in mind. Other than that, I think that's it. I don't think I've ever used these slingers. These slingers have been used pretty little. Like once in a few landings, they can be pretty useful to get the bowmans, and you micro and get some units. But other than that, most of the time I just delete them. Especially when you're trying to pop cap and get us with the fishing boats and the villagers, it can be stubborn. These 4 blocks of space can become pretty valuable. Yeah, that's it, I think. So until then, till the next one, I will see you in the Battle of Tunis, the 3rd one, so be sure to stay tuned for that one. Until that, have a good one and peace.